Hello, how is it going, guys? Today we have a good, decent video. The opportunity came, I had a punctured tire, so I had to switch the tube once again, guys. Alright, so I wanted to teach a little trick that I do so that way your tube won't be rubbing up against the tire and wearing itself out to the point where it makes a hole, and that way you'll get flats all the time. Anyways, in this case, it was a puncture. So first of all, we're taking off this screw here that is located on the motor cable. We take off the screw so we can loosen the cable a little bit more, and it gives us more space to work with. It'll be much more easier to work with this way. And as you see, it's quite a pain to take off here. It took me a while to get that going. And this next clip here is about the six Allen screw sets, right? These screws, make sure you're using good Allen keys. That way you won't strip your bolts, just in case, because it will happen. You know, if you're using like an old Allen key set. This is actually how you take off the rim, right? Once all the six screws are out, all you have to do is push that motor out. It should come out. The rim's on the tire. Take that rim off. And now we've removed the tube, as you see. It's quite easy. And on this clip here, we are showing this white grease that I use. We are going to gulp all this inside the tire. You're gonna put that everywhere, all the most you can. Just make sure it's everywhere, it's inside that tire, and it won't dry up over time. Make sure it's nice and gooey and slimy inside. You don't want to over excess. I mean, you don't want to make a pull in there. But you know what I'm talking about. Just make sure it has enough where the tube is protected by that way it does not rub against the tire. This is what I do. This is my technique that I use. So I do not have constant flats because of long range trips. And this is I'm just wiping off the edges here of the outside part of the tire. It does not need to be it does not need to have any grease on the outside part of the tire. So make sure all that is nice and dried up, so that way the rim will actually grip on that real tight. Now we're going to fill up the tube, right? And as I said in my previous videos, make sure you give it a couple pumps. Not so much, just enough where it's slightly inflated. You know what I mean? There we go. That's probably good enough right there. You don't need more than that. Maybe a pump. Not even. And that's probably good. That's probably all you need. Then after that, just make sure you put the tube inside the tire. We do put slightly a little bit of air, so that way the motor rims, when you screw it back on, it will not bite on the tube. And if it bites the tube, then you're going to have a lot of problems here. So right here, I'm aiming. There's a groove where the tube valve has to aim sort of with the motor. There's like a motor groove. There's a groove on top of the motor where you aim it at the same direction as the valve, and that way you can look at the little holes and aim the holes too. So it'll be easier to screw back on here. As you see, we're screwing all the six screws back on. It's quite a pain in the butt there. Uh, Other than that, this grease trick that I learned, this will actually work. I've actually put it to the test. I no longer get flats. When I dismounted the tube, there was no weared up letters or anything. It was doing pretty nice. The greased up tube worked perfect. What I had was a puncture because I was on the way. There was a lot of garbage in the edge of the road. With all the cars fleeing all the garbage on the edge of the road, and I felt something puncture the tire, and I'm like, oh no, this is it. It's gonna be a flat, and this is what happened. That's Since this happened, I took this opportunity to make this video for you guys and show you my greased up tire trick here. It's actually very useful, like I said. This is a quite easy process, guys. It's a no-brainer. It's not much to do other than this right here. Let's not forget, if I'm not mistaken, we're supposed to have some like little clamp washers on the edges. That way we can screw everything back on. Everything should be perfect. All right, now we got to screw the sliders back on. I'm trying to aim the scratched up part of the slider. I try to aim it down, so that way, at least when people look at it from above, you won't see the scratched out part. It'll still look nice. And we're just trying to tighten everything up so everything's getting straight and good, worked up. And as you see, I use a computer desktop so I can put my scooter on top of it. It has worked out really good. This is my working stand. This is what I do. I got a lot of computers. I do work with them, and I got a lot of parts for them. So I might as well use this as a scooter stand or workstation, whatever you want to call it. Other than that, seems like we're done here on this part. Everything looking really good. We did a really good job. I'm pretty sure I won't be getting flats for a long time unless I encounter another like garbage section like that again, where there's so much garbage and stuff around you can't really see where you're trying to what you're about to run over and stuff like that. So after that, we're going to fill up the tire. Do not forget, we're going to fill that up real tight. Make sure it's nice and tight. Make sure that tire feels like rock solid. I'm not sure how many pounds you should put in since I use a manual pump. Just make sure it's rock solid, guys. Anyways, thank you for everything, guys. Do not forget to subscribe and like my channel. Please help me out here. Thank you very much. Peace.